that even as we look at the finance bill 2026-2027, we need to look at able to pay our interest. The economist here, Mheshimiwa, with us, will take us through the intricacies of what we are going through as a country, in the financial year 2026-2027. Well, what I know, that there's been a broader net. KRA has broadened its nets to see on whether they can tap into areas of that have been untaxed, so that we can improve on the revenue. But even as we look forward to improve on the revenue, we also need to have the same feedback from the mwananchi that yes, I am giving my tax, but I'm also enjoying the fact that I'm paying my tax. But it will not be right for mwananchi to go and be taxed and over taxation, and at the same time the services are way below the expectations, way below average. That will not agga well with the common mwananchi. And I'm saying that we are in a test of time, both politically and economically, because politically there's going to be a very big wave of noise, a very big hula baloo over this finance bill 2026-2027, a very big hula baloo. But what I'm saying is that with the proposed taxation and the broad net that KRA has been given, what now comes in is what is the equal results to the common mwananchi. What does mwananchi benefit from the broadened taxes? What I'm saying is that the government must relook not to have the extra looting that is more than rampant in our government currently.
Yes. Actually, yesterday I saw Mr. President and the other cabinet secretaries and the entire parliamentarians. They signed a law whereby now they passed a law whereby 428 billion to be shared to counties. 13 billion was added. And by staying with the same question on spending, is it there a law that actually gives a go-ahead of executive to use an extra coin without parliament approving?
Yes, true. There is a law in the Kenyan constitution, that is Article 223 of the Kenyan constitution. This law was meant for only extra spending and even supplementary budgets. So you find that the executive is allowed to spend more of the budget, but they should report it within 2 months to Parliament, so that the Parliament can review and approve it. So you find that it's like a problem, because Parliament also needs supplementary budgets. Ministries sometimes they don't manage their budget well. They don't plan their budget well. So usually after every 30th April of every year, you still see that there is an extra budget, that is the Parliament is still passing out the supplementary budget. So that is still a challenge in the country, where we are facing a lot of issues. And I think maybe, as we have seen even in the Finance Bill 2024, Kenyans were very angry on the government because of the issue of increasing the taxes, because they were looking forward to increasing 30 billion in the Finance Bill 2024, and that is even what made Kenyans very angry for the government on issue of increasing taxes. Yet you find the same government, you see President now travels to go and borrow money to come and repay debts, which is very, very bad in our economy. And you see, over the last 3 years, the Kenyan debt has increased times 3. We are now at 12.8 trillion. So you imagine if we don't cut on spending, and even you see our country is in a bad financial crisis. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. Maybe you can add up.
Maybe to add on that, according to Mheshimiwa, he has said that our budget has increased to 12.8, our debt has increased to 12.8 trillion shillings. Do you know what that translates into? It translates into $1 trillion per year.
A trillion per year.
per year from the previous regime.
Yes.
So if you look at these presidents, that is to say that by maybe if this government is re-elected, by the time we hit 2032, our debt ceiling shall have gone
Double.
all the way to 17 point something trillion.
Even more.
Even more. So what I would maybe wish to advise,
Yes.
that we should cut on the spending, broaden the tax net, and put the money into proper right use, so that we can ensure there is no losing of public funds in matters that cannot be explained.
Yes.
Maybe to add on that, Bwana Marwa, the finance bill 2026-2027 is going to put this government into a test. They must balance between having the same crisis that we had in 2024 and having a stable economy.
Yes.
There are some of the provisions that have been stripped away from the finance bill of 2026-2027, pending to the anger that was raised online by the common public. But we must also appreciate that the government and the current CS for Treasury is doing so much in bringing the finance bill to a local understanding. Let me put it that way. He's doing so much to make sure that the common Mwananchi understands what they are doing. Apart from sometimes you listen to what they are saying and you realize that they are making no sense. When you look at the electronic devices tax, when they say that we are going to tax these electronic devices so that we can make sure that the price of the electronic devices comes down. Those are some of the things that do not make sense. Yes.
Yeah, true. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that response. Mr. Titus, later on we saw the allocation of the budget. We saw the highest allocation was in the education sector. Yes. And yet we can see now Mbadi came with the idea of allocating extra coin by telling us that he is going to employ more teachers and equipping the CBC, yes, the CBEs, CBC, ECD. So what is your take about this increase of allocation, and that maybe we can say it is a value to education sector? What is your take about this, Mheshimiwa?
So I think maybe as per the allocations of the budget 2026-2027, we saw education had around 843 billion Kenyan shillings, and followed by defense in that order. Defense had even 543 billion Kenyan shillings, with maybe defense ministry getting 232 billion, the National Police Service at 144 billion, and the National Intelligence at 64 billion. So when you look at the budget, you find that there's even deficit in terms of where will we get this money, the extra money to fund this budget. Yes. And you saw, as per the medium-term revenue strategy by the KRA, they will only get around, I think, is it 70%? Or no, is it 30%? Then the rest 70% they will source out in terms of borrowing, and both domestic borrowing and foreign external borrowing. So you find that out of these current budgets, they need 692 billion. There is a deficit of 692 billion, which they need to source out externally. So they need to source out these funds externally. So it's quite a challenge because we can see figures of 4.82 trillion in the current budget, but where is this money going to come from? So that's the biggest question, because even though you see now the KRA have started implementing the e-teams from this year, even I think this year most of the Kenyan had a challenge in implementing in getting filing returns. It was very difficult, and you can attest that not all Kenyans are the same. What about the Kenyans who are locals, who doesn't understand the systems? There are a lot of court cases that we have in about the tax appeals. So what I can say is that, you see, we need to balance the revenue so that we get enough money to fund the budget.
Yes.
So KRA needs to relook in terms of the implementation of their digital system, because it's quite a challenge when filing returns. And there, Kenyans hate a lot this issue of penalties.
Yes.
So penalties are very painful, and you see now this issue of having penalties, court cases is a challenge. So I think what KRA was trying to do is that they tried to copy Germany, because Germany has started implementing their digital systems of taxes. Even though I agree that we need these taxes to fund our development,
Yes.
but they still need to relook it, because there are actually very many court cases which KRA should have a different option to unlock these finances that are being in court. Yes.
Thank you so much. At least he has opened the idea of how to spend their allocations. And Mheshimiwa, what do you think about this as a political area of perspective in terms of overspending, taxation, penalties, and whatever?
I have said and I've insisted, everything in this country has a political repercussion on everyone. I see there are going to be political drums that are going to be beaten from now going forward. Is the same political drums that are beaten in the year 2021, 2022 financial year, financial budget. When the current president was the then deputy president, but the leader of opposition by then, he was the deputy president, but the leader of opposition. We find ourselves in a very intricate situation or circumstance where we have the former deputy president now leading the opposition. I am assuring you without a doubt they are going to capitalize on this finance bill 2024. 2025, 2026, 2027, and you have seen they have rejected it in totality. The finance bill, they are calling for a total scrap of the finance bill 2026, 2027. What I am seeing, what I foresee in the near future is that there's going to be an incitement to demonstrations in this country, and that's why the government must be very careful.
Yes.
There were proposals that have been made that KRA was given the powers. I don't know whether our economists, Bonatechas, will tell us about it, but there were some proposals that were made that KRA could have been given powers to access your transactions via phone, via bank, so that if you don't pay tax, they can tell you, they can prompt you and tell you, Bwana Marwa, we owe you owe us this.
Kindly
pay, or you'll accrue a penalty. What I'm saying is that that would amount to spying on your personal information. And you see, there's the Data Protection Act of the year 2021-2022, the Data Protection Act, that ensures that your data is protected, that ensures that your data is not given anyhowly to anyone. For someone to access your data, they will need a court order that now gives them the authority to go and access your data. But in the proposed financial the proposed finance bill, KRA is going to be has been given the mandate to check and see your transaction, because they have said that they have a valid point of argument saying that many Kenyans are filing nil returns, when in reality they have made some returns. It is true, but I see that it is going to be a very long court battle that will ensue, dating immediately after it is implemented. That power is good to KRA, but it is very detrimental to the common mwananchi, because many are the times or many are the days you see someone has transacted something that entirely and totally did not involve them or concern them. It was purely for transactional purposes. I don't know whether that bill has been scrapped, because there are several that have been scrapped to avoid public anger and political retribution. Yes.
Thank you so much. What is your take about the financial bill? About the way Mheshimiwa have spoken about taxation, and also KRA have been given authority and mandate to check on your privacy and maybe to pay the penalties.
So as per the National Treasury CS, he had stated that it's like they are giving us 4 months to file returns.
Yes.
So for the last financial year, for example, because for example, if we are in 2026 and we're filing returns for the last financial year up to 2025, so it's like they are giving us the January, February, March, and April to file returns. And when you look at the current tax policy, it's like now the KRA is allowing us to maybe relook what you filed. So it's like now they want us to maybe file returns by even April, so that KRA will have to relook on this. But as per the current tax policy, KRA have been given grants to look at maybe your returns even for up to 5 years.
Yes.
So I see no need for KRA being granted maybe this issue of data protection to access even your M-Pesa statements,
or accounts.
because they have, as per the current tax policy, they have up to 5 years to check on your returns. And maybe what I can say is that what KRA is not getting right is that they want to implement their digitalization at once. And you see, it doesn't work like that, because
It's a gradual process.
it's a gradual process and it has steps. So they need to relook on the issue of tax filing returns, because this year I'm very sure many Kenyans faced a lot of challenges. And I'm sure many even had to have to go to reconciliation to make sure that they have their returns filed. Because there is, for example, if you're a supplier and you have a lot of invoices, it becomes a challenge in the current system. So KRA should relook on the current system, so that at the end of the day, I know we need this revenue. But as per, when you look at the midterm report revenue strategy, you find that I'm very sure what they implemented is below 30%. Yes.
Thank you so much. And we have seen now they have exempted taxes over less than 30,000 salaried people.
30,000.
30,000, yes. What is your take about this? Because now we are looking, some previous years, some were deducted from 24,000. Now they have pushed to 30,000. What is your take about these taxes that we are now needing it so that we can pay? Most of Kenyans earn less than 30,000. Yes. And that is where now our taxes come from. Now, if we have added some an extra to 30,000 salaried people, these are the people to be deducted. Now, what is your take?
Marwa, it is important to note that it is a proposal.
It is a proposal.
Yes, that has not been agreed.
Agreed.
Specifically, that one for 30,000 and below has not been agreed up to now. Up to now, as we speak, it has not been agreed.
That's the proposal.
It is a proposal.
And what if it happens to?
Well, if it happens, I look at it in a very different way.
Yes.
The government is caught up between getting taxes and we must accept and admit that next year is an election year.
Yes.
And many are the people that are going to determine this coming election and between below 30,000 and below. So what the government is therefore caught between is taxing this fella that I'm looking forward for him to vote for me and not taxing this fella, then go on and borrow more. So therefore the government is caught up between a rock and a hard place. That is why it is still a proposal that they must deliberate keenly and carefully on, because if it I were to propose, I would say that the tax net remains where it is. There's no need of taking it back to 30,000 shillings. So remain at 24,000. That could have been easy. But now the government must please and caution, because we have hard economic times.
Yes.
Very hard economic times. The government looking at the current economic times must also caution those that are earning 30,000 and below to the tax bracket of 30,000 shillings and below. It is good. It is good. It is both an economic move and a political move. Because if you take away the pay as you earn from 30,000 shillings, you exempt someone, they might look at it as a political favor, and maybe you might earn some political sympathy from that. But what is its ramification on the budget? Well, okay, we have broadened the tax bracket, but what will happen to what we were getting? How are we going to then supplement it and make sure that we've not lost any tax?
Yes.
But I normally insist that the question of tax is not as important as the question of how we spend the money and the tax collected. Because the point of the bone of contention between the mwananchi and the government is not the money collected, is how we spend the money collected. When we began this conversation today, we all agreed that there is an extreme overspending on the state.
Yes.
In both the visits and both the budget that has been given to State House.
Yes.
I was looking at the financial year of 2025-2026,
yes.
where State House was given an extra 600 million shillings.
600
million shillings. They said that it was for repairs, and then you wonder, do we repair this State House on a yearly basis?
On a yearly basis. And that was
these are some of the questions that are very hard for Kenyans to understand. The allocation for the State House repairs, we need maybe someone will need to sit Kenyans down and explain to them, like ECDE learners, tell them that we need to repair State House on a yearly basis because this and this and this and this gets damaged yearly. So that we can also make sense of what we are saying. But until we do that, we need to relook as a country. This is allow me to say this is though political. The Ibrahim Traore, president of is it Burkina Faso?
Burkina Faso.
Yes.
He said that had he been given the economy of Kenya currently, we would not need to borrow anything.
If
From
he was given.
What I'm looking at, I don't know whether we are going to stop development so that we can clear these loans, because for sure we are taking the same trajectory that Greece took about 19 years ago, where they had a tax ceiling that exceeded what they could make in 2-3 years. What does that translate to? It translates to a collapsed economy. There is a very big push and a pull between the Kenyan government and the International Monetary Fund on the issue of the fuel levy. That the government wants to take away the fuel levy, and the IMF says you cannot do this because you owe us this and we are earning from here. And therefore we do not need to find ourselves in another stalemate with another international organization that we have borrowed from. Do we really need that?
No.
What I think is that we need to, if I was to be asked, we need to cut on the spending, even if it means we cut on the spending up to 80%.
Yes.
So that we can now recover this money and have the ability to repay our loans and the interest gained by the loans. Lest we are going to suffer not paying loans. We are going to suffer extra interest. We are going to suffer skipping paying some loans. And what will happen? We are going to start seeing that what has been placed as collateral, we are going to lose.
True.
We have assets that have been placed as collateral to some loans.
Yes.
And when President Uhuru Kenyatta was president, there were rumors that the Mombasa port was going to be taken away because of a loan that we were unable to clear, but fortunately it was cleared before the port could be repossessed.
Yes.
Well, we don't need to come to a situation as a country where we have to do last minute rushes to avoid auctioning of our
some
assets.
properties and assets. Yes. Thank you.
So we need to look at it. The government needs to look at it very keenly and carefully. We need to relook at the spending of our nation. We need to relook at the spending both by the local government and the county government, by national government and the county governments. We've talked about there is an increase of about 13 billion shillings to the counties.
More than 428 billion shillings. An increase of 13
billion shillings. To how many counties?
To 47 counties.
So in translation, per county.
Per county.
We are talking about 200 million shillings.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
200 million shillings is quite much, yet so little. It is a pinch of salt.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much that still needs to be done. But I've always insisted, before we add this money to the counties,
Yes.
we need to see value for money.
Mm-hmm.
There are counties that have performed dismally poor
Mm-hmm. With a lot of allocation.
with the allocation that they're getting. Then what is the need of adding those counties? Not unless we change the heads of the counties. What is the need of having the counties that are performing dismally poor with the same resources? You give them extra more,
Extra.
they have extra more money to steal.
Thank you so much.
But maybe I can add on that, because
Yes.
even though there is allocation for counties,
Yes.
there is issue of equalization fund.
Yes.
So this equalization fund is meant for only 34 counties.
34 counties.
It's like this is fund meant for areas which are dry,
Arid and semi-arid
arid
areas.
and semi-arid areas, and those areas which face a lot of challenges.
Yes.
So these funds, the allocation in this financial year was around 9 billion Kenyan shillings. So that fund exists, and I think they should reconsider increasing the allocations so that areas like Turkana counties, Wajir counties, and Marsabit, all those counties that face a lot of challenges get these funds. So I think there's no need even to have, even though there's push for devolution, to increase the allocation to counties, because what the government is trying to do, if when you compare the national budget and the county budget, you find that the allocation to counties is below, like it's around 11%, it's below 10% of the current total national budget. Because when you see the figures, you find that allocation to national government is a lot. And maybe because we are when you look at SHA, for example, SHA or hospitals a lot of money.
Yes.
And it's a challenge. It has been a challenge in implementation, and even the government not want to admit that implementing SHA was a challenge. And you saw even CS Duale trying to defend that after there was information about maybe losing of around 50 billion in the SHA scandal. So I think that was true, and I think the government have been trying so hard to make it work, even though this time around SHA has a lot of Kenyans registering. It has increased, it has doubled from the existing NHIF. So NHIF had a lot of issues as well. So we are not saying SHA is better off, but maybe we can say that there is still an issue of digitalization and management to ensure that it's efficient. Yes.
Thank you so much for opening at this. Let me read some people who have been following us. You can see James Kioko, Margaret Arasa, thank you so much for following up. Shadrach Maina, Eric Mtinda, Gloria Nekesa, James Shadrach, thank you so much. Kivisi cha Makueni, Calvin Sodiambo, thank you so much for watching. Sherif Bazu, Paul Musimba, Mwanaspoti Brian, thank you so much. Presenter Pendo, thank you so much. And Manu Masiko, I have seen you. Presenter Kajef, thank you so much. Eva Degal, na Fred Charles, thank you so much for watching. And more of people are watching actually. They are giving a feedback on how we have been discussing about the budgeting. Because time is not on our side, kindly let me give at least 2 to 3 minutes to each and everyone to discuss generally what is happening and what are we expecting for this budget as we finalize. What are we expecting, Bwana Leon, as a political analyst? What are we going to expect? We have seen now the opposition parties, they are claiming about overspending, they are claiming of high taxation, they are claiming of budgeting, high budgeting and deficit. What is your take personally in these terms?
They say that a madman's dance in the market is only exciting as long as you are not their family members.
Yes.
Allow me to go back to the year 2020, 2021, 2022.
Yes.
The same political dance that is happening now is the same political dance that took place then. When our current president was the then the deputy president and the leader of opposition then, said that his Hii kodi ambayo mnapandisha kila uchao, hamujui ni nini mnafanyia wananchi. But when they enter that office and realize that yes, people must be taxed, we change the tune of the dance.
Yes.
Yet they still say that when the spirits and the gods conspire against you, everything you touch turns to a tool of self-destruction.
Yes.
And that is what is happening to our current government.
Then explain.
I will explain. Everything that the government is currently touching becomes a tool for self-destruction. There were comments that I will not quote from one of the CSs that he said yesterday on the issues of the Gen Z teachers. I will not quote, and I will not mention names on the issue of the Gen Z teachers. But it has created a very big ripple effect. And it has turned against the government completely and totally. What I'm saying is that it is very good for the opposition to now to use political drums with the finance bill, to beat political drums with the finance bill. But I ask myself, given a chance to form a government right now, do they expect their finance bill to be supported? What I see is that we are creating a very dangerous precedence. Very dangerous precedence of having a total rejection of every finance bill that comes to this country.
And why do we have a high domestic borrowing?
That is a question that our economists can answer better.
Thank you.
But as for me, I will look at it from two sides.
Yes.
One, political. It is good that the opposition is going to use this finance bill.
Yes.
Especially there are clauses that have touched on the land. There are clauses that have touched on the rent and the income of the rent. That there was a proposal to raise it from 7% to about, is it 10.1%? Yes. And that would mean that rent will go high.
Go high.
And that will affect every Mwananchi that lives in this country. There was that proposal. But you see, the opposition has taken that as an opportunity now to politicize the entire finance bill.
Yes.
What I've seen as a country is that we pick the most ineffective articles on the finance bill and we make them as the most highly prioritized issues in the finance bill.
Yes.
We prioritize what is not actually the main issue. But let us know that we have politics to serve,
Yes.
and let us know that we have a country to run.
Okay.
Well, that is what I'm saying. Because should they come to office in the year 2027, we shall have the same questions for them. We'll have the same dance awaiting them. So as we beat these drums, let us make sure that we beat them in a pace, in a tune that we can also dance to, should we have the same powers, should we take and form the next government. Let the opposition be sure that they are not inciting Wananchi to what will be incited against them in the future. And I've quoted the year 2021, 2022. It was what happened. It is what I see now happening currently. They say that you cannot dance the music until you have learned how to play the music.
I love that. Thank you so much. Let me hear from Mheshimiwa Titus Kipkorir. What is your take about this all? The financial bill, the finance budget?
Maybe I would lastly wish to request
and give a solution to a Mwananchi and to the government.
I would wish that we elect the likes of Mheshimiwa Titus Kipkorir. He has the know-how. He has the economic know-how.
Yes.
Because these are the people, if we send to Senate, they can go and present actionable plans for our taxes. He's an economist.
Yes,
we don't need politicians in the Senate.
No.
We need people who are better placed to guide this country economically. Thank you.
Thank you so much for supporting that. Mheshimiwa, this is a support from the other side, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you very much.
So what is your take about this? Because now, next year, we are going to see you in the Senate. And we need you to articulate very well on how the overspending, the taxes, the finance bill, the budget is affecting the Kenyans, and give us a solution.
So I have three maybe call to action.
Yes.
First, there was an issue of Mitumba business.
Yes.
Whereby there was a tax exempt for second-hand imports, while those who are local imports have an issue on they were complaining why there's tax exempt for second-hand clothes. What about the existing local manufacturers? So I think a call to action is request that maybe the Parliament should have that bill ready and implement, because they didn't include in the finance bill 2026, and it's quite a challenge, and many people are raising the issue on why there is the taxable income for the mitumba business. So on the second issue is that the Treasury CS explained very well that even though they had said that there is a taxable income of up to 30,000, so that means that they are exempting like 600 shillings per person, which total to 36 billion. So Treasury CS explained that they will lose that 36 billion, which is not right, because most voters are earning less than 30,000.
Yes.
And I think that this was a political issue, and my call to action is that why did they exempt that issue in the Finance Bill 2026? And why is it that the Treasury CS explained that they are still reviewing that policy?
Yes.
So that need to be relooked into, and I think because it's there are promises which are empty in our government is very difficult, and I think because we are heading toward the elections, and I think there are many promises which are not being implemented. So, for example, if they even tax exempt taxable income up to 30,000, those people will still spend that money, and the government will get it because if they exempt that 6,000 shillings, that means they are not taxing 600 shillings per person. So the Kenyans will be very happy, and I'm very sure most people will spend that money, which still government will get, maybe if Kenyans purchase things, they will get it as VAT tax.
Yes.
So that's another call to action that I'm really pushing forward. The third one is that there are two key reports that the Parliament are failing to review. First one is the Auditor General reports, and compare it with the National Treasury Implementation Report.
Yes.
So the Parliament are not really looking on these two reports and scrutinizing it to make sure that all what is budgeted are being implemented. So my call to action is that the Parliament should look forward on these two matters and make sure they scrutinize these two reports, that is the Auditor General report and the National Treasury Implementation Report. So lastly, there is my last call to action is to ensure that KRA is trying to rush implementing a digital process, which is affecting a lot of Kenyans in terms of filing returns. So my call to action is that the process should be gradual, even though there's push to fully implement the current medium-term revenue strategy. My call to action is that they should fully have a gradual process to make sure that we get enough revenue for funding the current budget process. So finally, there was an issue of the current budget allocations, and I think maybe these budgets, we have a lot of challenges when you see the debt of the country reaching out to 12.8 trillion, which is like 72% of GDP. So the government should really relook on this and make sure that we cut spending, and the Parliament should not rush in approving the supplementary budgets, because that is what is killing us as a country.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. As we finish, because time is not on our side, thank you so much, guys, for watching us. And I think actually we have actualized what we needed for the viewers to watch. Some of the questions that our viewers was asking is the same question that we have answered. Thank you so much for those who have been watching us and those who have been keeping in touch with us. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate. My director is saying time is over, please hurry up. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. My name is Emmanuel Marwa, give you a way forward to think about our budget and give us a suggestion in our messages or WhatsAppers, or send your SMS, and we'll be discussing it next week or tomorrow morning or in our next show. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.
Na kuwasilisha maoni yako kupitia nambari zetu za simu 0729109092 au kupitia barua pepe almaarufu email pepetatv1@gmail.com. Pepeta TV, tunakupa unachotaka. Je, una ujuzi wa kunyoa na iwe kazi safi?
Balo kijana baro mwanaingira ndo nikuchape mkacho Tenga kona sura na madiambos jambos kam nikupigishe riba za kanairo mambo kujitepa weta tesa mesa zero pressure setan kujiweka tunameta sosi nego kwa nature ketchup kupepeta goti na piga bega bega Prakata sakata yonkala Rada na kama tena mkemba Kichapa lazima na kam tena Kichapa sana utazampenga Sabula, zigidi, maiki Wakati yo gambachi, story chi Kuwa muku kabadi
Balo 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 balo
Muwala nyenya watu Mudispo tuzine valu Machingi na meza kavu bila chesa wanaleta na zikagu Chipo masala na kingo kotika Niko na ranya na nitokotika Nasikia nagawa kama soko mjinga Anachanganywa na maloko nika Sabula zigidi maiki Wakati yo gambachi story chi Kuwa muku kabadi Combination kali kama ragwa na mariabadi Zigidi yo musipi Nsipide mudangari
Hot fire
Waiteni wambea wa kusini na mashariki waje kuona